they're a little bit unruly, so I need to bring some order to this stuff. Welcome to this celebration of Rick's life. I said to Barbara just before, I'm going to try not to cry, for all of our time, Nicky and I's time in South Africa, this couple have been permanent. We haven't lived here and we haven't visited here without knowing Rick and Barbara. So I'm sure there are many stories like that across this room of people who have known these two for even longer than us. 87 was our first time. I'd like to meet the administrator who put the name of Welsh, that's my name, against the Granellis when we came here to stay with them, because it was life-changing. The rest of the Granelli family didn't get a lot of choice in this, but we have entered into the family in some way, and I want to say thank you to all of you for not kicking us out. I'm an Englishman, I'm Roinig, and I understand how sometimes we can be a bit tough to be around sometimes. We're a bit naive and a bit arrogant and all of those kinds of things which we sweep under the carpet when we want to. So I just want to say thank you. I really do want to say thank you to all of you. It's been a remarkable almost 40 years, which seems ridiculous. But so thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to have lots of tributes. I'm not going to keep jumping up and down unless the microphone's not in exactly the right place, okay? So we're going to hear from Ivana first. Granny first. Oh! See, that's what happens when you're not thinking about what you're doing. We're from Granny first, of course.
I've got a funny voice and don't feel confident enough in it to read my letter to Rick. Yeah. This is my granddaughter, Maya.
Okay. My darling Rick, it is impossible to believe you are gone. I'm finding it difficult to find words to express what I have lost. When we married, aged 20 and 19, we were still unformed young people, not knowing ourselves, let alone each other. Through these past 63 years together, we grew up and molded each other. Our love and sexual attraction held us together through thick and thin. You grew into the most amazing husband and father. Your sense of responsibility to our marriage, our family, your education, and your work was remarkable. You provided such love and devotion, generosity, faithfulness, and hard work. You gave your protection and comfort unselfishly to me, our children, our grandchildren, our friends, and others. You had very high standards, a remarkable work ethic, high intelligence, and a true passion for hard work. At times it was hard for me, our children, and your fellow workers to keep up. You excelled in everything you put your heart into. We experienced great sorrows together and weathered those storms with your willingness to go into therapy and save our marriage. I so admire your humility, your preparedness to look deep into yourself and make changes. You were not afraid of the challenges life brought. You lived life to the full, right up until the last morning of your stroke. I am so grateful for your deep love for me, our children, and our grandchildren. I simply don't know how I will cope without your unwavering protection, your steady presence in my life, your technical and financial know-how, and your abiding love. Rest in peace with Sansan, Marco, and Nicola, with you at last.
Thank you.
Just give an overview of Rick's remarkable life. Roger Rick Granelli was born in Comachie in March 1942, the son of a proud Italian father and a devoted mother. When he was only 3, his beloved older sister died of a diabetic coma, a loss he felt all his life, sensing that the light in his family dimmed and never quite returned. At 7.5, he was sent to St Aidan's Catholic boarding school. He hated school, but delighted in the 3-day train journey each way. Bright and capable, he matriculated at 16 still uncertain of the life he wanted. After a year of trying different building-related professions, he enrolled at UCT to study civil engineering. It was at 19 that Rick's life changed forever, when he met an 18-year-old girl named Barbara. She fell in love with his gentleness, humility, willingness to learn, and perhaps also his car. When she fell pregnant the following year, I'm not sure if the car's got anything to do with that, but anyway, when she fell pregnant the following year, they married, just 20 and 19, and stepped bravely into adult life together. Rick left UCT to work in his father's building company, studying at Technikon at night, where he excelled. He carried enormous responsibility at work and at home, always with discipline, love, and almost no time for himself. His relationship with his father was difficult, and with Barbara's support, he made the courageous decision at 28, with 3 children, to leave and start his own building business. The business succeeded, but the stress was relentless. Again, supported by Barbara, he closed it and completed an MBA at the UCT Graduate School. This opened a new and deeply meaningful chapter. Work focused on justice, upliftment, and dignity for people of colour, denied so much under apartheid. At UCT's Urban Problems Research Unit, he helped build a school and community centre in Crossroads, working on housing initiatives, and co-authored a book on black housing in South Africa. In 1979, he joined the Urban Foundation, and the family moved to Johannesburg, where Rick worked on the first project permitting black ownership in Soweto. Spiritually, the family entered a transformative time at St. Luke's Anglican Church in Orchards. Both Rick and Barbara felt called into ministry, and together they became full-time workers, creating a thriving youth community. These were years of deep joy and purpose. When Rick's father died, he was called back to Cape Town to rescue the family business. After a year of struggle, he made the painful decision to close it. The stress took its toll. At 43, he suffered a heart attack. His cardiologist told him to walk away and build memories instead. Rick listened and never looked back. He led the Rondebosch Vineyard Church, worked pro bono as an administrator for the Cape Evangelical Institute, and then with Barbara went on an extraordinary 5-month adventure through the UK, North America, and Europe. Inspired, they spent a year studying at Regent College in Vancouver, a meaningful but challenging season that ultimately led them to step away from formal religion. Returning to Kommetjie, they bought a beach plot, and Rick designed and oversaw the building of their beautiful home. He supported Ivana's new business, travelling often to Johannesburg, and later welcomed Nicola into the growing enterprise. Then tragedy beyond words. The plane crash that killed Nicola and 8 colleagues. Rick held the family together with extraordinary strength, though he and Barbara grieved differently and had to find one another again through counselling and courage. Life slowly found new light. Ivana's children, Joss and later Mara, opened their hearts again. When Ivana became a single mother, Rick and Barbara became co-parents at 62, and Rick became the father and grandfather he had never had time to be when he was younger. Loved deeply, even when nicknamed Grumpy Grandpa. He helped design Ivana's new home, moved with Barbara to Silvermine, and took on leadership of the Silvermine Village Board during a turbulent time. He led with integrity, intelligence, and steadiness, guiding critical legal changes and helping hold the community together through COVID. In 2021, another devastating loss. Their son Marco died of COVID. Rick again shouldered his grief with courage, seeking therapy, exercising, swimming daily, and doing everything he could to hold Barbara through her deep depression. In the last years of his life, Rick found peace and joy living on his beloved Long Beach in Kommetjie. He enjoyed remarkably good health until September, when a viral illness, most likely COVID, attacked his lungs. After a restorative holiday in Mauritius, and after finally receiving appropriate treatment, he wrote to thank his doctor for giving him his life back. But just days later, he suffered a severe stroke in Silvermine and died 5 days afterwards on 25th of November 2025 at the age of 83. Rick's life was full of love, joy, faith, doubt, deep purpose, deep sorrow, and profound devotion. His life intertwined inseparably with Barbara's for 63 years. Partners, parents, co-workers, companions, and soulmates through everything. He left the world better, loved his family fiercely, and carried no regrets. He will be remembered for his gentleness, humility, integrity, sharp mind, quiet humour, simplicity, and deep capacity for love. He lived fully, he loved deeply, and he held tenderly in the hearts of all who knew him.
Breathe, yeah. What a beautiful view, though, of every face I know, actually. I don't think there's anyone here I don't know. And I know how much you loved Dad. And it feels quite profound to be surrounded by people who've loved him as deeply as he loved them. It's hard to see you all in these circumstances, but it's also so beautiful, so thank you. I'm going to, I brought my wrong speech. It was the long one, and I'd shortened it because I thought today would need a shorter speech, but somehow I've picked up the longer one, so I'm going to read that one. And then I have written a song for my dad, which I do hope I have the ability to sing. And you might have to forgive me for stopping for a few minutes to breathe. Thank you, Nikki. So I'm going to... I'm shaking, can you see? Anyway, I know that you all know what it's like, many of you, to go through this, and so I breathe into you and you can hold me. So where do I even begin? My life began with you. You were there for my first breath, and I was almost there for your last. Dad, our journey together spanned almost 63 years. Almost. A lifetime of being shaped, supported, challenged, loved, and held by you. What a privilege it has been to call you my father. You became a dad just before your 21st birthday, barely older than Myra is now. Myra, thank you. You didn't yet know who you were or where you were going. But the moment I arrived, something in you seemed to solidify. A determination, a sense of responsibility, a strength of character that carried you through your whole life and extended to Mom, all 4 of your children, and to your 8 grandchildren. When tragedy struck our family, and we lost Nick and 8 members of my team in a plane crash, you stepped straight into the darkest time of my life and yours. With unwavering steadiness. You were grieving too, and yet you poured your time and energy into helping me navigate the loss. You helped me hold the business together and the parts of me that were breaking. You were the person I leaned on most, not because you demanded that role, but because again and again, you simply showed up. When my partnership ended and the children and I moved back home, you didn't hesitate. You found a progressive school for them, and even attended a parenting course with me. Do you remember? At Capella House. Eager to learn new ways of parenting and communicating, open to evolving, open to showing up for us in the best way you could. You built meaningful relationships with each of us. Mom, your children, your grandchildren. You were curious about all our lives, our work, our stories, our friends. Whoever mattered to us mattered to you. And one of the greatest acts of courage and love you ever offered me was your journey towards embracing my sexuality. I know it wasn't simple, and I know it stretched you, but you chose love over comfort, connection over certainty, and you chose me, and I'll never forget that. But Dad, to honor you truthfully means honoring all of you, and you held, as Mom wrote too, to very high and sometimes impossible standards. Sometimes those standards stretched onto us. They were with sharp edges, moments of perfection, of criticism, of strong ideas about what was right or acceptable, moments when you struggled to trust our choices, and moments when your disapproval landed heavily. We had our challenges, and they shaped me too. But with time, I came to understand that even the difficult parts were rooted in the same devotion that made you so reliable, so protective, so committed to our well-being. Your intensity was your care. Your caution was your love. And your rigidity was your way of keeping us safe in a world you couldn't always control. So today I hold the whole truth of you. Your devotion, your flaws, your strength, your tenderness, your fears, your courage, and your extraordinary capacity to love. Dad, thank you for being my anchor and my challenge, my steady place, and my teacher, my father, and in so many ways, my home. I will miss your voice, your interest in my life, and the grounding presence you carried everywhere you went. But I will carry you with me in the choices I make and the way I choose to love, in the courage you taught me to live with. So, Dad, as I walk forward without your physical presence, I carry the strength you gave me and the courage you found to fully accept me as I am, with a heart that opened wider than you thought possible. That love, brave, imperfect, and real, will live in me for the rest of my life. Thank you. Whew. Okay, now I have to breathe and try and remember these words. Do you want me to hold? Yeah. Just in case. Huh? There. So, thank you. No, I don't need you. Just stand here in case I need. Okay. I think I used to play the guitar a lot when we were in our religious time, and I used to lead the youth group. We had our Granelli band, actually. Dad was the conductor. Piero was the lighting and sound man. I was the guitarist. Nick was the pianist, and Marco played the drums. And we used to lead in the Catholic Church, the little Granelli band. And we used to go and sing to churches and in hospitals and all sorts of things. And And it was a very precious time, and I loved my guitar. And when I realized that I was a lesbian, I came out, and I struggled to incorporate the church into that. So I left the church and I left my music. And in the last couple of years, I've come back to it through, I'm not going to say what, but I had quite a psychedelic experience and realized that it was important, actually, this part of me, and to start recreating music. And so I've started again, and I used to write a lot of songs when I was Christian because I felt deeply about God and I felt deeply about people. And when I do that, somehow music flows. And so I decided to write the song rather than just talk, because I know he also loved me playing. So I'm just going to try and thank you. From my first breath to your last, you have been there, standing fast, heart wide open through it all, arms wrapped around us to protect each fall. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Your strength and courage, your kindest eyes, your gentle hands, and your advice so wise, your delightful chuckle, your thrill of the sea, your keen determination, and your love for Komaki. We love you, we love you, we love you, yes we do. We love you, we love you, we love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you, we love you, we love you, yes we do. Thank you, I did it. Thank you.
Sure. That's not really fair. How to follow that? We all experience Dad in different ways: a husband, a father, a friend. As his child and son, though, it feels to me that I hit something close to a lottery win. Tata my chance, tata my millions, was this Tata, a father, a dad, in life's lottery of fathers. Because, as you've heard, Dad was truly in that rare category of special human beings. Active, interested, articulate, smart, kind, principled, challenging, reflective, and energetic. It was a genuine privilege to know him and have him as my father. A few years ago, we celebrated Dad's 80th birthday in Komaki. And I spoke some words then and tried to capture what made him who he was. And in thinking about today, I've realized that those qualities didn't fade. They stayed true right until the end. So I've used the same words, just changed the tense, but not the sentiment. There'll be some repeats, as you know, because that's important. That's who he was. So Dad was one of the smartest people I've ever known. His intellect and logic were formidable. He loved engaging with almost any topic: architecture, construction, business, finance, tax, contracts. But he equally applied his mind to philosophy, psychology, art, politics, religion. There was a deeply reflective side to him. He didn't just want to understand the facts and figures, although he really did enjoy that. But he knew he needed to understand motivation, psychology, behavior. And he was wise, the quiet, steady kind that comes from empathy, integrity, and a deep sense of fairness. He believed in truthfulness, in standing up against harm or injustice, in doing the right thing, even when it was hard. And in so many areas of life, Dad naturally emerged as a leader, as you've heard, in his own business, in the church, in his community, and more recently here at Silvermine Village. He wasn't afraid of hard work, and even the frustration and stress that came with that, if it meant making things better. He saw what needed changing and he stepped forward, often doing the unseen, unglamorous work that makes a real difference. And many people here knew him and saw him as a trusted sounding board. Dad's generosity showed up everywhere, in his time, his interest, his humor, his resources. He loved hosting family holidays for friends and family, throwing himself into conversations, always curious about people's stories and experiences. He was generous financially too, to Mum, Ivana, me, to his grandchildren, to the wider Granelli and Davison families, to old friends, to new friends, to charities. He loved the NSRI, Gift of the Givers, Ladles of Love. His instinct was always to contribute. And of course, he cared fiercely about keeping fit. Some of my earliest and quite traumatic memories are the Swiss Army 6-minute workouts. Some of you might be old enough to remember that, and running around the Rondebosch school fields on freezing winter mornings. I didn't enjoy that. Dad did, though, and for years he ran and jogged with the consistency of a man who loved the fresh early morning air and the sense of purpose for a new day. And when that chest infection slowed him recently, we suddenly saw just how naturally energized he was when healthy. And the moment he received the right treatment, he bounced back to walking, running, swimming daily with visible joy. Dad had a remarkable eye for design. He could look at a space and almost instantly see its potential. And the Komaki house, in some ways, is his masterpiece. I think he aspired to do more, but what he did was perfect. A home shaped by imagination and intention. He transformed every home he ever lived in, as well as homes for Ivana and for Marco and for me. And the cottage here at Silvermine is another example of his ability to create something interesting, beautiful, functional, and lived in. And although he lived in many houses across Cape Town and Joburg, Kommetjie is where their most enduring memories of Dad seem to live. And at this time of year, crayfishing season was practically a spiritual event. There was the annual ritual of the boat maintenance and fixing things and getting things right, the hopeful anticipation of the first catch, followed by the inevitable disappointment. The crayfish states changing, the numbers being too low, the crayfish being too small, everything going wrong. The fishermen amongst you will know that cycle well, eh, Doug? But the anticipation is often much more important than the catch. And a day out on the sea, whether you catch anything or not, is still a day to be enjoyed and savoured. No reflection on Dad's life would be complete without acknowledging the profound loss he and our family faced of Nicola in 1999 and Marco in 2021. Their deaths were unimaginably traumatic, leaving deep and lasting wounds on Dad, on Mum, and on the rest of us. And that grief could easily have closed them off from the world and each other, but instead it revealed something extraordinary about both of them. It's a testament to their love and devotion and willingness to hold and honor each other's sorrow, that they continue to live with openness rather than withdrawal. And despite carrying heartbreak no parent should have to endure, they remain generous with their love, their time, and their care for others. Rather than turning away, they kept returning to hope and offering kindness and generosity of spirit. And in that way, Dad and Mum showed a strength and grace that will stay with us always. You've heard about Dad's love and support for Mum. Teenage sweethearts with a very challenging start, but a lifetime of 63 years of love and commitment to each other. And that includes many, let's say, adventurous dietary plans that they embarked on over the years for each other and their health. And anyone who thinks commitment can't be measured in home-brewed kombucha, chia seeds, and foul-tasting powders hasn't met my parents. Yet the tenderness between them, especially in hospital after Dad's stroke, when he struggled to speak but could communicate so much with his eyes, was deeply moving. Even then, he still only had eyes for one woman. As it turns out, I can't really remember Dad without a beard. I guess mainly in some early photographs of much younger days. But it's as if Dad's beard quietly infiltrated the gene pool, because every adult male in the family now seems contractually obliged to grow one. It's a Granelli male membership requirement. In our family, you don't decide to grow a beard, it just arrives, saying, sorry for you, it's now in your genes. Dad was so many things to so many people. His values, his empathy, his deep interest in others radiated from him. And it's impossible to capture his full essence in words. But perhaps the closest single description I could come up with was the Yiddish word mensch. He was a mensch, a person of noble character, integrity and honor, kindness and empathy, dignity and compassion, responsibility and dependability, true generosity of spirit. We will miss that spirit more than words can express, but we're so grateful for the years we had with him. Grateful that we drew the number one prize in the lottery of fathers. Hambagachle tata. Go well, Dad. Until our spirits meet again.
Sorry, sign of the times. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Doug Walters, and my wife Sue and I are here to be part of this gathering. Sue and I have been almost long life friends of the Grinellis. Oh, shit. Thanks. Thank you. That's fine. Thank you. Hello. Hello. It's a bad start to a bad speech. and have shared many good and sad times together. When I heard of Rick's passing, I was moved to write this to Barbara, but I've been asked by Ivana to read it to this gathering. Dearest Barbara, it is with deep privilege, a sense of privilege and affection, that I write these words about my dear friend, Rick Grinelli. It is impossible to think about Rick without thinking about you. The two of you were, in the truest sense, inseparable, woven together in devotion, companionship, and a love that inspired everyone who knew you. Your tenderness toward one another was something to admire and, quite honestly, something to aspire to. Rick was a lodestar. He had a natural general presence, steady, thoughtful, and instinctively wise. People listened when he spoke, not because he ever demanded attention, but because his calm confidence and sincerity drew you in. In our Christian journey, Rick and Barbara were guiding lights for us. Their influence, often subtle but always steady, helped us navigate difficult paths of faith and hope. Rick lived life fully. He had a delightful sense of fun and an eagerness for adventure. We shared unforgettable and often hilarious moments together, from 4x4 trips to the Richtersveld, bartering bottles of vodka for ships' toiletries on the Black Sea on a cruise, to fishing, crabbing, and swimming Kalgat in the Kariga River at Kenton-on-Sea. These memories are treasures now, reminders of a man who embraced joy and invited others into it. At his core, Rick carried a deep and quiet compassion. His concern for the troubled and the less fortunate was not something he spoke about. It was something he acted on. His generosity, often unseen by others, brought comfort and relief to many. It was simply who he was. He was also, without question, the Grinellis' family beacon of strength. Through times of heartbreaking loss, Rick held the center. He offered steadfastness, wisdom, and a kind of love that held the family together when life felt unbearably heavy. I remember those days well. Rick was our friend, and I will miss him more than I can say. But I remain profoundly grateful for the privilege of having known him. Only now, in reflecting, do I fully grasp how deeply he enriched my life and the lives of my family. For that, we will always be thankful. Rest in peace, Rick.
Hello, everyone. I'm his granddaughter, Laura, and I just have something short and sweet to say. Okay. Dear Grandpa, in my goodbye to you, I'd like to thank you for all that you've done for me and to reminisce on some of the special memories we've shared. Thank you for taking the time to play with me and James on the beach. I have such good memories of us building not only sand castles, but entire sand towns, with a moat, a library, and everything in between, until the tide came to wash it away. Thank you for sharing your cooking with me. I love learning from you on how you made your homemade bread, kombucha, Christmas cassata, and chocolate semifreddo, to name a few. I remember always getting up from the family lunch table to help you serve the dessert from the kitchen, because I wanted to learn from you how you dished everything so evenly. And of course, because I wanted a preview of what the dessert tasted like. Thank you for being so generous, for all the family holidays you took us on, where we were able to create special memories and spend real quality time together. Thank you for sharing your cold water swimming routine with me. I remember one day we went for a swim, just the two of us, and I was amazed at how calm and relaxed you were. After you showed me how to keep swimming and breathe normally, I relaxed too, and we had a lovely swim together. Ever since that day, that spot in the sea has become a special place for me. I'm shaking so much. Okay. I can't even read. Okay. That spot makes me feel so peaceful, and it reminds me that whatever I'm feeling or facing isn't as daunting as it seems, and in the end, everything will be okay. I will always remember you for that, and I'll forever be grateful that you introduced me to this special place in the Sea of Komiki. I love you very much, and I will miss you deeply.
Okay. So, I don't have many words, but someone asked me the other day how would I describe Grandpa, and I struggled for words, and then a word popped in my head, and it was the word lively, and I couldn't think of anything else but that word. So, lively, full of life and energy. Grandpa's liveliness was often not bold or triumphant, but a pulse that put you at ease and filled me with joy, an energetic heart and a kind soul. His liveliness was sandcastles on the beach, crayfishing, icy swims, and the smell of freshly baked bread drifting through the house. It was his dedication to place, to Komiki, to the sea, the dunes, the waves, and the birds. He was alive not only for himself, but the many more he shared the world with. More recently, I remember his liveliness in conversation, always interesting and interested in the world and others. His conversations and stories could lift a room, and were never shy of a laugh. Grandpa, there are many things I would like to thank you for, but I'll leave it with just two. Thank you for listening, and thank you for swimming. May we drift in the lively waves you leave behind, afloat in your gifts.
Okay, I promise it's just 2 more, and then we're done. Okay, so I wrote a letter. I'm going to do my best to get through it. I did a good job with Granny's Mum. Okay. Dear Grandpa, as you know, I have spent years hoping that this day would never come. Losing you has been one of my biggest fears in life. Oh, damn it. And now that the day is here, it feels virtually impossible to encapsulate the impact you've had on my life in one simple letter. I have had the privilege of not only having you as my grandpa, but also as my father. You have been fundamental in helping me and supporting me to become the person that I am today. And I have no doubt that your lessons will continue to help me navigate the future. It's unfathomable to me that I will never hear you call me Mara again, or that I will never hear another joke, which are all hilarious, by the way. I just hope that your joyful chuckle and radiant smile will be imprinted on my brain forever. You have played such a foundational role in my life, from the endless morning walks on the beach, followed by a swim, to pushing me around the go-kart track when I was little. You've been a part of so many core memories of my life. I mean, you even taught me the colors of the rainbow. For all of it, the sand cities, the dragon breath on cold mornings, the jokes that made me laugh till I cried, the crayfishing, for every single moment I got to spend with you, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for choosing to be my dad when you didn't have to be. Thank you for choosing to parent me. Thank you for being the best grandpa a girl could hope to have. And thank you for showing me what true love and devotion looks like. I can't wait for the day when I get to see you again and tell you all of my stories, a few of which I'm sure will horrify you. But until that day, rest easy knowing you had such a beautiful impact on so many people around you. I love you, my grumpy grandpa.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Yo, Myra, fuck. Shit. Sorry. Oh, fuck, man. Sorry. I honestly wasn't quite sure what to say. He's such a foundation in all of our lives, and I kind of wanted to talk from my heart and to people in the moment more than a read script. I don't really like reading from a piece of paper that's pre-done. So I put a few words down, what I thought I'd speak to, just to keep the structure. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to talk to who he was to me. He wasn't just a grandfather, he wasn't just a friend, he was a father. Someone who helped really build my foundations of who I am. He was kind, quiet, intelligent, diligent and honest, sometimes a little too honest and rawly honest, but it really helped me grow. He had an occasional temper, which was very human and very real. I think the family experienced that quite a lot. But even from the stories of family, like from the generations before us, and how he changed, I was always astounded by how Granny and my mom always talked about how he wasn't, like, he didn't hit us, he didn't, like, which he used to do when, because old generations, he yelled at us, he sure as hell yelled at us, chased us up the stairs. Yeah, we did deserve it. But yeah, his presence was more than words. Just this way of being was such a remarkable thing to experience. I feel very privileged to experience it myself, and I wish the world could experience it for longer. It was a very fitting time, but I do wish it was longer.
What he was to me, so I've already said he was not just a grandfather or friend, he was a father. He was a role model who I really look up to and admire deeply, which I think comes across in my nearly falling on the floor and crying. But yeah, he taught me how to move in the world. He taught me, he was such a, he guided, but how he guided was very subtle. It was never forceful. He listened incredibly well. I, obviously with a lesbian mother, have struggled to have a center of masculine presence in my life, and I think he really provided that. But in the most profound way, it was quiet, steady, solid, but it was never forceful. I see a lot of, you hear about dads who abuse their kids, or women who have horrendous relationships with men, and I think I am so lucky to almost not have a dad, and to have the father figure that was a grandfather. He had gone through it before, he had parented before, and he'd learned so many lessons, and he was in a quiet period of his life. He wasn't outdoing, he wasn't having to survive anymore. He was reflective, quiet, steady, and gentle, and I really loved that about him. What he was to the family. I think for the family, he was very much a center of gravity, a steady voice, not loud, but very precise. He was, as I think everyone has spoken about, he was very intelligent, highly intelligent. Marco's piece about his logic was really profound. I really enjoyed that. I see a lot of myself, especially reflecting on his death now, a lot of myself carrying almost his essence, and I think that applies to everyone in the family. I think everyone will have learned from aspects of him and almost integrated it into themselves, and I think that's where he lives out in the world, further than his own life. Also, during the grief, I think the grief is a very big part in our family. Nicola's death, Marco's death, I mean, lots of struggle. Everyone experiences it, but I think the way he held it was amazing. He didn't force the holding. He listened so well. He really did. Even when he didn't mirror back, Granny always talks a lot more than Grandpa. But I enjoyed it a lot, so yeah. What I'll miss? I'll miss the simple moments, the highs, the byes, the hugs, just being there, sitting in a chair, having a conversation, having a cup of tea, pouring kombucha, the cassata. Brandon also mentioned something that was quite profound yesterday when I saw him at the beach. He mentioned how he helped. He's very innovative. He helped us build mouse traps. I don't know if you remember that, but he there was a mouse in the hedge in the garden, and he basically was taking an ice cream tub, a stick, and a piece of cheese. Did we ever catch a mouse? No, but it was a lesson of patience, creativity and patience. We'd sit there for hours in anticipation, and nothing, and you wouldn't even see the mouse. It wouldn't come close, but you'd hope, and it's the hope. And he almost taught us how to hold hope with curiosity, which I think is quite profound for me. And I carry that quite a lot in my life, and that gets reflected back in me a lot, especially in the UK. People are like, oh, you're so curious. And I go, where does this come from? And it's Grandpa. It's definitely Grandpa. So yeah. I'll miss the quiet wisdom and the feeling of him in a room. Those are the other two things I think I'll miss, and so much more. Just words can't really describe everything. I could be talking for hours, so yeah. And then for me, he created a legacy. I don't think we really think of people as a legacy when they die, but when people die, for me, the legacy concludes. They can't really do more with their life, but what they have done continues. And I really think that is quite profound, and that's what I wish to, that's how I wish to live my life. I want to live where people can admire me, not for me, but for what I can do in the world. And I want people to go, oh, that's nice, that's cool, I like that, that's interesting, I didn't think of that. And all those little moments, they build, and I see now how they build better than I have before. And I wish everyone would live like that, more fearlessly, more courageously, more curiously, not so frightened and shameful. This world is full of shame and regret and hate, and it's I really don't like that. And I think that's something Grandpa showed me how to do in the world. So that would be my message to everyone. He helped shape who I am. His energy continues through us. And I have a deep gratitude for the lessons I learned, the example he provided, and the love as well. He loved very deeply, and I think I carry that quite intensely in my own relationships, whether it's family, whether it's romantic, whether it's even friendship, a deep love in friends. So yeah, I do want to say I love you very much, Grandpa, and obviously we have lots of questions about what happens afterwards, but if there's any afterlife or any presence of him here, I just wish you could hear everyone's words, because they are so, and feel everyone's feelings, because they're so meaningful, and the fact there are, 100 and something people here, that is insane. But yeah, so thank you for everyone for coming. I'm really grateful, and yeah, thank you.
Does it come down? Okay, I think I'm the last tribute. And like Gary, we felt when we came to South Africa that we were adopted by Rick and Barbara, and they became such close friends. And this has been a very hard time. And so I want to say from the outside, and we were not in the room, Rick's death feels really sudden. It's a huge shock, and it is very hard to accept. And as I was thinking about that, I felt Rick's life was actually the opposite of that. He was careful. He was considerate about his own life and that of his family and friends. He was a go-to person. He was always ready to give an opinion or advice when he was asked. He loved being around people. He laughed easily and with a little shake of his head. He also had so much empathy and was generous in his support of others. He displayed passionate love for family, friends, and especially for the love of his life, Barbara. Seeing him with you was a gift. His eyes were always on you. In a room full of people, he was always aware where you were, what you were doing. He loved you so much. He was gentle in spirit and strong in the way that he lived his life. He leaves a huge gap in all of our lives. But we know that if he could have stayed with us, he would have done so. But he was just that sort of man. He didn't want to go, but he didn't have a choice. We really, really are going to miss him so, so much. Thank you, God. Thank you, Granelli family, for Rick and for all that he meant to everyone in this room.
When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set for me, I want no tears in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love that once we shared. Miss me, but let me go. Miss me, but let me go. 'Cause true love never ends. Miss me, but let me go. I'll live in your heart till we meet again. For this is a journey all must take, and each must go alone. It's all a part of a bigger plan, the step on the road to home. So when you're lonely and sad at heart, go to the friends we know and bury your tears in their loving arms. Miss me, but let me go. Miss me, but let me go. 'Cause true love never ends. Miss me, but let me go. I'll live in your heart till we meet again. Oh, miss me, but let me go. 'Cause true love never ends. Miss me, but let me go. I'll live in your heart till we meet again.
Yesterday I had a dream about dying, about laying to rest and then flying. How the moment at hand is the only thing we really own. And I lay in my bed and I wonder, after all has been said and is done for, why is it thus we are here and so soon we are gone? Is this life just a path to the place that we all have come from? Does the heart know the way? And if not, can it ever be found? In a smile or a tear or a prayer or a sigh or a song. And if so, then I sing for my father. And in truth, you must know I would rather he were here by my side. We could fly on the wings of a dream to a place where the Spirit would find us, and the joy and surrender would bind us. We are one anyway, anyway we are more than we seem. There are those who will lead us, protect us each step of the way, from beginning to end, for each moment, forever, each day. Such a gift has been given, it can never be taken away. Body in passing must leave us, there is one who remains to receive us. There are those in this life who are friends from our heavenly home. So I listen to the voices inside me, for I know they are there just to guide me, and my faith will proclaim it is so. We are never alone. From the light to the light, from the dark of the night to the dawn. He is so in my heart, he is here, he could never be gone. Though the singing
thank you. Ooh. Thank you. So I'm here to say the thank yous. Obviously, firstly, thank you to my dad for a life beautifully lived, as you've heard, beautifully connecting to everybody in this room. I want to say thank you to all of you. It has felt beautifully comforting to have you all who've connected with us over the last couple of weeks, online, phone calls, messages. We've felt so held, and you know it's never easy to respond all the time, but that sense of being held in a community has been deeply, deeply comforting. So thank you to all of you who are listening online, all of you in this room. And words don't really cut it, but it's a huge thank you. Oh, I need my glasses. Oh, yeah. There were a couple of people I wanted to say thank you to. Tanya, I can't see her now, but she's somewhere, Anyway, she's really supported us and supported my dad, particularly when he was chairman of the board here. And she was an incredible support to him over that time. It wasn't always an easy time because it was also through COVID, and he needed a lot of support, and she provided it. And I wanted to today, putting out the chairs, sorting out all the logistics for Tamsin and the kitchen personnel. Thank you for all the food that you've provided, Tamsin. Thank you. I think for everyone who's travelled from afar, the Walters, thank you so much. Janie and Mark, really appreciate it. I'm not sure, but anyone who drove here as well, thank you. And there have been some donations to the NSRI, which was a very deeply meaningful, what do you call them? Charity, thank you. To my dad, and appreciated that. To Nikki and Gary, thank you for stepping in and holding us so beautifully today, and just being there for us, and the way you loved Dad, really beautiful. And I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this part of our afternoon together is now finished. We're going to go through there if you'd like to. There's some refreshments there. They tell me you can go into the garden as well. There's some shelter out there. But thank you so much for coming. Bless you all.